Hello, welcome back to the Spider's Web, and in this video we're going to be painting the final 3 minis of the that we can use in the first stage, or first scenarios rather, of Dungeons and Dragons Temple of Elemental Evil. Now, these are the Gnoll Archers, and these are rather, what do we call it, the hyenas, for want of a better word. They're basically big humanoid hyenas kind of characters. That being said, let's try and do them as best as we can. So, starting off with the skin tone, and for that we're going to be using a mix, starting off with Baneblade Brown, and then into that we will add a little bit, and I mean a little bit, of Bestigor flesh. So let's get some on our palette, watching where I'm putting it, because the last time I zoomed in like this I completely missed where it was heading. Now yeah, pop you down there. This is the Baneblade Brown, and as I said, I'll get that on the palette, and then we'll add some of the Bestigor flesh into it. Give it a good shake first of all. Oh yeah. And then just add some of that into the palette, or into that colour. I'm mixing it straight off to get it to the colour I want it. There we are, that will do fine. Next, what I'm going to do is just rinse out this brush and a normal painting brush, a little bit of water on it, and then we can get into it and get painting. So for this we're going to be using, or this we are going to be using all over the flesh of the character. Also doing the mouth as well. A little stray hair there from somewhere. There we go. I'm saying the flesh, but the main body of the character is going to be this. We're going to be changing the colour as we go along. It's not, we don't want it this colour all over. So we're just going to slap this paint on. I'll show you on one of them, and then I'll do what I usually do, fast forward while I do the others, but you can still see what I'm doing with the others as well, so you're not missing anything. If you're wondering what the watery sound is in the background, I've got the dishwasher on. I've got a new toy. So there we are. I'm having fun with it at the moment, messing dishes up and then cleaning them. Oh dear. The novelty will wear off, I can assure you, the novelty will wear off. Oh dear. And just in case you're wondering, after yesterday's video, I said that Ali wasn't well. She's feeling much better today. She's currently having a bath, and it's not her birthday, so she must be feeling alright. So we're just gonna, as I say, cover all of this this is a fairly prominent character. As I say, what I'm doing with these is trying to get all of the ones that we'd use in the first scenario. Once I've got them all done, we can start playing, because what we're aiming to do is actually go through the complete game, play it all as a complete campaign, and so you can see how it works. I don't know how it works. I'm going to be making most of it up as I go along, because I've not actually played it like that. I've just played the first scenario. That's all I've played. And I've only played that twice, so I don't really know how the campaign works, but we're going to learn together. It's the first time I've done anything like this, as you may or may not have noticed. I don't usually do, well, tell a lie, it's not the first time, it's the second time. The first time I think was with the Pathfinder card game, where I played it without actually knowing, without having prior experience of the game. This I do have prior experience of the system, but not necessarily really the workings of the campaign section for this game. So we're going to be learning about that. So that's what we're going to be painting on each of the minis. So I'm going to fast forward now. I've done the first one, and then you can see how they all get done, or how they all look when it's finished. Okay, so I'm getting stray laddie hairs here. Oh well, don't be painting them. Let's get on with it. Okay, so we're getting very near to the end of this. I just have to do this foot and this hand. Best way of describing them. Really, I suppose there should be really paws, but they're done as hands, so we'll call them hands. Well, hands and feet. So that's it for the base coat for the skin tone. And as you may have noticed, I haven't been too neat in the application. If I've gone over anywhere that I don't want that colour, it doesn't make any difference whatsoever, because it's going to be it'll be gone over again with another colour anyway, so I'm not really bothered about that. So I'll just clean this brush out and we'll continue. Now, next thing we notice is that there are bandages and wraps here and there, so we're going to do those now, and those are going to be done in a pale creamy colour, Screaming Skull. I'll add some of that to the palette. I don't want a great deal of it because there's not going to be much to do with it. I'm just going to use this brush again because it's easier at the moment to deal with, because it's what I've got the paint on, so I might as well make use of it. Trying my best not to go over any of the paint colour, which I say that and do it straight away. That's what you call great timing. But you know, so when you're doing this bit, you try to not to go over the previously painted area, but accidents will happen. So that's all the paint off that brush. I'll just change it out now to the brush that we've just used, and here. And we'll be a little more careful. I think the previous one was a bit too big for me to control properly for where I was doing it. That and the fact that all the bristles had splayed out as well, which doesn't help matters when you're trying to do areas like this. But yeah, we're going to go through the same process again. I'll paint on the first one and tell you exactly what I'm doing and chat to you and show you in real time, and then we'll fast forward when I do the other two. It's just so you can see which areas I'm doing this colour in. So if you'd like to use a similar colour scheme to me, then fine. As I said, though, I'd really rather you find your own colour scheme and paint your minis your own way, because as I say time and time again, they're your minis. They're your minis, they're your hobby. If you want to learn how to paint and paint to a way that you're happy with, that is all that matters. I think I've said it before, I will say it again and again and again. As long as you're happy with the work that you've done, it doesn't make a difference what anybody else says or thinks. Yes, there is always room for improvement. Even when you've been painting a long time, there's always room for improvement. It's not something really that you master, something that you're always learning. But when you're first starting out, the simplest way of getting results that you're happy with is just by painting them until you're happy with them. Spend some time basically colouring in. They don't have to be brilliant minis, they don't have to be brilliant paint jobs. When you're first starting out, all they need to be are painted, and when they're all painted and you're happy with them, then they're finished. And then in time, in years gone by, as years pass and time passes and you're getting better and better and better, there is nothing at all stopping you from coming back, revisiting them, possibly even stripping them down and starting again. That you can do. I think that is it with the bandage and the wraps, or as it looks like it. So that's it for that one. I'll load up my brush and we can carry on with the next one, but obviously it's going to be fast forward. But I just want to say, just enjoy this as a hobby. It's part of the grander scheme of things. It is part of the gaming hobby, if you choose it to be, and it is a choice. Don't let anybody pressure you into painting your hobby, into painting your miniatures if you don't want to. But don't turn around and say you can't paint. Believe me, you can paint if you open yourself up to it and give it a go. Believe me. So I'm going to finish my little preach now and fast forward. And we're down to the final section of this particular part. The final piece of the bandagey area. What we're going to do in a second with this particular miniature more than the others is go over the skin tone again a little more, because it's not as what's the word I'm looking for? It's not covered as well as it has done on the others. So we'll just wash this brush out and we'll go back into the mix that we did earlier for the flesh, which was the Baneblade brown and the, was it the Balor brown? Vestigo flesh, sorry. And go back into that and just touch up here and there where it needs to be, which is just really here where I've missed completely. And then again, that is hardly a surprise to anybody. I think I do it in every miniature I do. And there's this foot, and I think I've missed a bit on the bandage here as well. I think that was it that I noticed. Back into the Screaming Skull, and we'll finish off this bandage. And there we are. So that's getting the majority of the model out of the way. Now what we need to do is concern ourselves with the material parts here. So you know me, I always like to add different colours, so I'm going to be doing that again. What I want to do first off is using a dark purple. We will use a dark purple and just close the door a second. Xarius purple is the one we're going to be using. And I'm going to pop some of that on the palette. Like so. And pop these away, and we'll just go over these areas that we want to be the purple. Now I'm not saying that these areas are spot on as a what's the word I'm looking for? Oh dear, my brain is gone. They're not the. I'm not saying these are the actual areas that should be painted this colour, but these are the areas that I'm painting this colour. Okay, so just because you've got some areas in the advertisement pictures And whatever painted a certain colour doesn't mean to say that you have to paint it yourself that colour. You can if you wish. I choose not to. You will usually find with me that I will paint whatever colour I want, unless it's like a set army. And then I will try my best to get it to the right colours for that particular army. So, for example, if we're using, I've done this before, if you're painting a Salamander's army, you don't paint them bright blue. If you're doing an ultramarine army, you don't paint them pink. You know what I mean? So, unless it's a set army which has a set colour scheme, then you definitely aren't tied to how you can paint them. Use some imagination. As I said, with me, with all of these minis so far, I've tried to paint them slightly different each time. Unless they're, as I say, like a set colour scheme. Now I know there's some that I have actually done which don't really have a set colour scheme, but I've done very similar. I've used them basically as though they have a set colour scheme, and that'll be the cultists. But these I don't really want to have as a set colour. I want to have these as like oops, I've run over that bit and I shouldn't have done. Okay, I definitely want these to have more of an individual look. I'm going to go over this part as well, because I've done that on the top area. So that is the purple part done. Next colour I want to use is a blue colour, and for that I'm going to use, let's see, what do we have? Cantor blue. This is the one I'm going to be using for this bit. Make it up as you go along. Seriously, I never have a set colour in my head when I want to do things. Unless I say, of course, unless it's got that set colour scheme, and then obviously you would have. But you know, use a little bit of freedom when it comes around to these miniatures. If you're painting them individual colour scheme, then paint them individual colour scheme. Don't plan out. Go with what the mood tells you at the time. Sometimes you can get some very interesting colour schemes if you just leave yourself open to just winging it. we'll do is the base coat, let's put it that way. Can always come back. In fact, I've missed a bit on that one, so we'll just turn this. I'll go back to the purple. I need to do the front of his outfit here. Looks like so. I thought I'd missed something on this one. I usually do, as you know. Right, what I'm going to do is go back and do everything under that belt in the purple, and then I can just come along later on and make adjustments too. There we go. Okay, and the next colour we're going to be using is what colour can we use? Green, I think. Yes, I think a khaki green. If I can find the colour I'm looking for, which will be Lauren Forest. Yeah, that's what we're going to be using for this next one. Oops, it needs a good shake. There we go. And I'll just apply some to the palette as per usual. There we are. Come here, you're going to be the green one. And this area at the top, we're going to make a little difference with the colours. I do believe I have gone over some of the areas that I don't want this colour, but again, it doesn't matter. I'll correct everything later on. There we go. So that's those three done. Now we are going to be using an old faithful, shall we say, Abaddon Black.